afternoon. This is your girl, Balance Lola Thompson, and this is my premiere episode of Get Started, Get Paid. Get Started, Get Paid, we're going to explore where people got started at, because let me tell you something. The whole point is you don't have to finish where you started, all right? It's a totally different situation. And the first person I get to interview today is my good friend and my business partner, Mr. Trent Riley. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Yes.
That's
Thank
right.
you for inviting me on your show.
Absolutely. I had to have you, and I want people who can really share with folks how to get to their final destination, how to make things happen, and how you start doesn't have to be how you finish.
Facts.
Facts, right? So what I want you to do is tell people a little bit about yourself. Where you from? I know we're in the DMV now, but where did you originate from?
Okay. I was originally born in the state of Kentucky, actually. My father was military, and out of all 7 of us, most of us was born in different states: Texas, Kentucky, Oklahoma. So we were all bouncing around so much because my father pretty much traveled every 2 years, basically. So we were all born in different places: Fort Campbell, Owensboro, Oklahoma, Fort Sill, and things like that. So I've been in this is home for me. I've been in the DMV area since probably, I think, 2006. And I retired from the military here, and this is home.
Okay, military, traveling. You know, one thing about traveling around is that I think it enriches who you are. I think it adds different pieces to you that people who stay in the same place forever don't always get. And so what would you say that growing up in the military with your dad and then you going into the military, what would you say that added? That's your start, that's your beginning. So how did that add to you?
I think for me and my siblings, for the most part, we matured very early because we seen so much and traveled around in so many different states and countries that it matured us. I think seeing a lot and being around all different cultures definitely helped and benefited, because, you know, I probably didn't even experience or even know what racism was until probably like the 10th grade, actually. So I think that was a plus. And again, my dad did 20 years, and then right after high school for me, as 18, I joined the military.
Oh, wow.
And then I traveled 20 years on top of that. So all that traveling, I think it's done a lot for me. So I can't deny that at all.
Well, I know you to be a very well-rounded person, right? I think you into like the juicing and the health stuff, right? We know you're into real estate. That's what we're gonna talk about here today. Did you think at that time when you were growing up, or when you were in the military, before you exited, right, before you retired, was it your intention to begin real estate investing? Did you do that while you were in the military, or did you wait till after you retired?
That's a good question, because I think about my life and how did I end up where I'm at today. So that's a very good question. I think for me, it started really at a young age, but I didn't realize it. Because to tell the truth, being in the military, all I was focused on basically at the time was just military. You know, you couldn't talk to me about nothing but military. So if it wasn't gun-ho stuff, jumping out of planes and war and things like that, I just didn't want to hear it. But silently, I was still always in the back of my head, had a very competitive side of me. I was always fascinated with real estate. I was still kind of reading books about real estate and being an entrepreneur. I just didn't know that it would take me so long to do that, and that pretty much happened right after I got out the military. So
And that's interesting. You say it took you long. Why do you say it took you long to do it?
Because what I know today, if I knew what I knew while I was in the military, I would have been way ahead of the game. So I think that set me back a little bit, because I could have been implementing these things as I travel amongst the different states and did stuff, but I waited until I actually retired. So I didn't buy my first property until I retired, which was 2006, and at the age of 38 years old. So that's where it kind of started for me.
Well, it's funny because he says that he took long, right? But I think it's really interesting because as we move along, we picked up pieces. I'm sure there's some things you picked up in those years, right, that took you till you was 38, 26, 2006, that maybe made you a better investor, a better entrepreneur. I'm sure there were things you collected. Maybe when you were younger, you might not have taken as well the care of your money or your investments, right, as you did because you were a little bit older.
Yeah, that's a fact. Honestly, as a young man, even as a young boy, one thing about me, I was always a saver. I always was making money. I had little part-time jobs as a newspaper boy, and I was buying my own clothes and stuff because, you know, my parents had so many children, you know, they just couldn't afford to buy me everything I wanted. So at a young age, I was always saving money. One thing that just stuck with me about my father, he always said, hey, if you make $100, save $50. And it just stuck with me over the years, even in the military, investing in traditional RAs and Roth RAs and just saving money. So I think that those were good things that I had in me as a young man. Even into today, I still have those same practices.
Yeah, because so you were already crafted for that. So you were ready, you were prepared. I think that's so important that we put that into our children. Your parents instilled that in you.
Yes.
I imagine you instilled that in. Do you have children?
Yes.
Okay, I mean.
I have 4.
Okay, all right. Are they following in your footsteps for the real estate?
Yes, kind of, sort of. My boys do, and they actually, I made my boys, well, I didn't make them. I gave them the opportunity. This house, this condo we in now, I got my sons together because they wanted to buy real estate. So the way we did it, I had a wholesaler sell me this house here in Baltimore. Most people know me, they know who it is. So we bought this property, and I could just be transparent with you. We bought this property like $145,000, and I had to put $15,000 down. So Trent Jr. 5,000, Cameron 5,000, me 5,000, and that gave us the 15,000 down, and we purchased this property. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and my daughter, you know, she's a little entrepreneur herself. She has not got a property, but she has done other entrepreneur things with me. So I do try to instill these things with my children.
You're doing a great job. I get to hear about them and what they're doing and your grandbabies and all of that kind of stuff. So I know you did an excellent job. Trent's not a bragger. He's very humble. He's extremely humble, and he doesn't talk a lot about himself. So let's slide on into the real estate, right?
Okay.
We talked about investing and things like that. I like to say that you've built a real estate empire. Again, you're very humble. You don't, but he's a millionaire, y'all. I'm just going to get a buck, right? So he's a millionaire. He doesn't like to say that, but he absolutely is. And I don't want to say it frivolously. I don't want to take it light. It's because you've built a real estate empire. You have multiple real estate properties, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you got them over time, all at one time. Tell us how that happened.
Over time, my first property I actually bought was 2006.
Okay.
I started putting it out there to the world. I buy houses and stuff like that, and I had a friend, still a friend today, Army buddy, showed me a property in Baltimore, and I still have that property, and I bought it for $80,000. Still rents out today for about $2,500 today.
By now you own it free and clear, correct?
No, actually I don't. I owe just a little bit on it, and I could have paid it off, but it doesn't make no sense in this business world to pay it off right now. But it cash flows very well.
Well, that's why I asked you, because part of this is we're gonna attach a clip to this that shows you this beautiful that he's purchased with his sons. and that it uses as a short-term rental. But one of the things, people have a lot of misnomers. They have a lot of false beliefs about real estate, right? And what you're supposed to do with it. You heard him say, no, he hasn't paid it off in full yet. It doesn't make any sense to. Now, he still has the equity that's in the property, right?
Correct.
And he can utilize at will. And I know you have multiple properties. So how many short-term rental properties do you have?
I only use 1, 2, 3.
He's still
5.
counting. Y'all see, he's still. I just want y'all to pay attention to the fact that he's still counting.
It's only 5 that I use for short-term rental, and I didn't always use those as short-term rentals.
Mm-hmm.
I pivot during the pandemic, actually.
Okay.
And in real estate, sometimes you have to pivot a little bit to maximize your profits of what's going on in the world. So during the pandemic, I pivot. As you could see, I pretty much furnished this whole place. So it's about 5 properties I use only for short-term rentals.
Okay, you know, we hear so much about short-term rentals, and the information that we get vacillates, right? We hear from hearing, oh, it's horrible, it's hard, to, oh, this is it, you know, this is how I'm gonna build my empire. Do you find it to be a difficult route to go? And what would be a piece of information that you would share with someone who was thinking about doing short-term rentals?
I don't think it's difficult, but understand, you know, everything ain't peaches and cream. You know, you will go through challenges, you will go through situations where someone may tear up your property. So you have to not have your emotions. I used to be like really attached emotionally to all my properties. So if I seen something, you know, that I didn't like, you know, it really weighed on me. So I've learned over years, you can't be emotionally attached to your properties. You got to treat it exactly what it is, a business and a property. So short-term versus long-term, they both are profitable. You just have to figure out your niche or what you really want to do. It's a lot of moving parts when you're doing short terms because it's a constant, you know, in and out of guests. So you got to either have a cleaning team and things, changing things in and out, versus someone who's long term where the tenant is in there for a good period of time, and it's not a whole bunch of moving parts. The longest tenant, long term, the longest tenant I had in one of my properties was 13 years. This was a government employee. Him and his wife utilized my townhouse for 13 years. So over, like that particular property, over 20 years of it being rented, it's probably only been like 4 tenants in 20 years. So that's a good thing right there. So it's not a whole lot of wear and tear and moving parts with that particular property. This property is a lot of moving parts because it's constant booking. We have a booking today, but you know, we're here doing this fantastic interview. So which I'm super proud of doing with you today. But by 4 o'clock, somebody will be coming in here.
No, and that's beautiful. That's the whole point. He was saying earlier when I got it booked that somebody's going to be here till the 23rd, and then somebody else is going to be here till what, the first week of January?
Yeah.
So it's always booked, and we're going to talk to you guys in a minute about how you can take advantage of those spaces in between the booking, okay? But just got a couple more questions that I want to ask you. When it comes to real estate, what's your next move? You want to get some more some more properties that you can do short-term rentals? Which one do you want to do? Some larger properties, multifamily, or commercial?
Good question. Because I think about it often. You know, being in this business as long as I have been, and we are getting older. The only thing that you know, 2024 is almost over, so we're going into 2025 in about another 30 something days. So my concentration going into 2025 and probably for the next couple of years is just only flips. Nothing's wrong with rental, but you know, as you know, I've been held on properties for so long, I gotta, you know, I'm getting older, so I'm trying to change and have less stress or less attachment to all these properties. So I would only probably do some wholesaling and flipping actually.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm gonna throw something here that's a little bit of a wild card. You and I talk about it all the time. Cryptocurrency.
Crypto.
Right. What are your thoughts about crypto? There's so many people out there. Talk to people about why crypto. I know I just did an ebook about it. You know, you and I talk about it all the time. Why crypto? Why aren't you afraid of crypto? Is it a scam, Trent? Is it a scam?
No. The only scam about it if people are out there trying to take your money and promise you all this crypto and stuff. But if you do it on regular platforms, Robinhood, Coinbase, and a few others, there's nothing about a scam with crypto. Now, being an entrepreneur like me, most people think that that's all I do is real estate, but no, an entrepreneur dips and dabs in things throughout their career, and crypto is one of those things that I got into at the pandemic.
Okay.
Reading about it, looking at it, checking it out, and that's when I first started buying crypto. But I would tell you, if you do not get crypto, you're missing the boat. Trust and believe, you're missing the boat.
No, that's true. I bring that up because right now in our environment, as we are recording this, like XRP is going to the moon, right? So
yes.
It's going to the moon. And so how do you decide what you're going to invest in when it comes to crypto? Do you follow people? Do you study it? Or, how do you decide?
I don't study it so deep, like maybe like yourself or someone else. I really listen and learn. I listen what's being said in the media. I listen to people that are doing very, very well in crypto. And of course I read. So with those type of combinations, I'll make a decision on what I'm investing. And then, like you just mentioned, XRP, and XRP, has been held up in courts over a year. This was a big thing, issue, and now that I think it's being cleared up, XRP is going. I started buying it at like 53 cents or 50 cents, and I think we had a high time. What, $1? What did it get to? $1.90, $1.90, and I'm expecting it to raise a lot higher than that. So. People that's in my circle and family, I try to talk to them, privately and be open-minded about some of this, because it doesn't make no sense for me to win.
That's right.
I want everybody around me to win. So it's just totally up to them if they're gonna choose to buy into this or believe into this. But the world is changing. You have to revolve and go around just like the world is changing, because if you're still in the same old rut and doing the same old thing, and you can't be open-minded to something like crypto or stocks or whatever else, you're gonna miss the boat.
And you have to step out your comfort zone. There's so many people who say everything you want is right outside of your comfort zone, right? Like this past week, we went up to New York, right? Correct. You and your sister went, and I went, and we met up there, and had an amazing event that we got lots of great information from.
Yes.
Lots of great. And so you have to be willing to come out of your, and I'll give him the credit. He encouraged me to do that because I know you do it. A couple of different people that he follows and that he studies things with, I follow them as well. You guys, you gotta come out of your comfort zone. Everything you want, that's where it's sitting right there, just waiting for you. Just right there. Speak a little bit about fear. Has fear played a part, or have you kept fear from keeping you to do the things that you've done to allow you to build this empire? Because it's a financial empire. I mean, I call it real estate, but you got stock holdings, you have crypto, and you have real estate.
I'd be a fool to say that there's not a little fear in doing something new, or just doing something as far as investing money, because you're always going to keep thinking, what if I lose? What if it, doesn't pan out the way I want to? So I would just say, if you're going to invest, definitely only invest what you can afford to lose. That's just bottom line. Don't go empty your whole savings account or your whole 401 account and and believe in something so much and put all your money in that, and then something goes wrong. So if you can afford only $100, and that's not going to put you in no financial difficulty, then invest $100 for now. The key is to keep investing, because the more you invest in consistency, as you said, the better off you'll be. So I encourage, the hardest thing about any investment, whether it's real estate or even stocks or something, crypto, is starting. It's starting. But I don't let fear stop me when I'm set out to do something, because fear will keep you hostage. And if you just let it just keep you hostage, you're never gonna grow.
That's big. I hope y'all heard that. That's good advice. That's amazing advice right there. That's how you've been able to do the things you've done. Because when we get afraid, we don't move. I went to a training one time and they said confusion is a place you sit when you're scared to do.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right? And so a lot of times we get confused, but we can do what you call it, AI, research on YouTube, do different things to be able to broaden your horizon. And so I want to bring us back again to where we're sitting, right? This is one of your units. You do short-term rentals with it. But in between him doing short-term rentals, he also makes a space available, and it's gorgeous. And like I said, we're going to attach a clip up so you can see the entire property. What are you doing? Like, how are you making this place available for other people to grow their businesses and build their dreams as well?
Recently, my mind never stopped racing. Mm-hmm. So I'm always looking to change up something, to do something better. So throughout my travels, there's a lot of people or a lot of new investors, new entrepreneurs that struggle with certain things. So just like what we're doing today, so I opened my houses up in between any VRBO guests or Airbnb guests, meaning that if I got some downtime in one of my properties and you want to do a podcast, you want to do a meetup, or you want to hold a professional meeting where you're a little bit, intimate, in the settings, you can utilize my properties. And that's a part of me just wanting to help the next person. I'm not going to get rich off of it, but so there'd be a fee attached to it, because I gotta pay the lights and water and things like that.
It's not free. It can't be free.
Yeah. So if you want to schedule 4 hours, an hour, or a day in between my guests arriving, we'll do that. And it's about helping in the community, giving back, and just doing good things, because I want to see you grow.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. This place is available, and we're going to put a link where you can click on it, and you want to hurry up too. Don't take your time, okay? Because this place is always booked. You just heard me say really it's going to be booked into the first week of January. Now there is some time in between the 23rd, right? For you all watching, there's some time between the 23rd and the 1st of January, right?
It might be one day.
Okay, but that's all you need. That's all you need. All you need is one day. All you need is one day. Well, I appreciate you sharing and being my premier guest or my podcast for Get Started, Get Paid. To me, you are the epitome of what it means to start in one space and then transition and grow into another space, because it's not over. You're still doing things, you're still moving, you're still making things happen. I'm gonna ask you, what's one thing that you would leave with people that are watching us today, something to grow on? What one thing could you leave? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but what one thing could you leave with the people? You left us a lot already, but what one thing?
Well, you probably hit on it earlier, and that is get out your comfort zone. You have to get out your comfort zone if you're trying to make changes and do better things in life. And we all know, when it comes to money, it just makes things a little bit better in your situation. Everything is not about money, because we could still do a whole lot even without money. Mm-hmm. And money can't buy happiness and all that other stuff. But I would say whatever you're passionate with, go out there and do it. There's an audience for anything and everything, whether it's real estate or whether it's building Legos or something. There's people who would be interested in what you're trying to do. So just to sum it up, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to achieve in life, you can do it. I encourage you to do it. I would tell you to not let friends and family and naysayers stop you from doing whatever you want to do. And if you fail, it doesn't mean you're a failure. That means, okay, let me brush myself off. You try again, or if it's something you need to pivot and try on something a little bit different, then do it. Because if you think I haven't failed, you're wrong. Because most people only see the glory and they never see the full story behind the picture.
Well, that is awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Riley, for sharing your information, for sharing your heart, for sharing your story with us today. And everybody's going to get with you to make sure that they reserve a spot to be able to have, you guys have got to look at the end of this and really see what this property looks like. I didn't ask him about his decorating skills, but truly, I think he might be an interior designer as well, because it is so beautiful. But thank you again for talking to us. Maybe you'll come on again?
Oh, anytime. It's an honor to be on your show, your podcast. So thanks a lot, and hopefully you guys can take away with something.
Thanks, you guys. Take care. See you for the next episode of Get Started, Get Paid. Take care.
I like that. Get started, get paid. Mm-hmm. That's a wrap.
Yay.